So namaste to all of you. Today I am going to talk about fundamental principle, Tridosha. Tridosha, these are three forces in our body. They are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. If they are in balanced situation, they maintain our immunity, they maintain our body. We are having good hemoglobin, we are having good blood, we are having good muscles, bone, reproductive systems, testosterone level, strength. And if it's not balanced, then we are going to have all type of problems. These three forces are regarded as fault. When it's in balance, it's good for our body. But when it's not in balance, then we get all type of problem. So physiologically, it has to do something for our body that is good for our system. And when there is any pathology in these three doshas, then it works as destructive force. It destroys everything, also your happiness. So doshas in our body, they are regarded as fault because they are able to spoil all other body dhatus. They are able to spoil, attack other malas. So that's why they are considered as dosha. Actually, dosha means what is constant on move and constant on changing. So these three doshas, they are having a sort of dynamic balance with each other. They are moving. If one is more, then other one is going to be less. If one is strong, other one is weak. If one is weak, other one is strong. So that way a dynamic balance is being kept in between. And that is what we call a sort of balance in Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And that is our duty to maintain that. So we have to understand the working of this Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So we see every manifestation that is made of 5 elements. May it be human body, may it be vegetable, may it be drugs, may it be anything. So every manifestation is made of the same elements. Vata, Pitta, Kapha is derived out these 5 elements. These 5 elements are ether, air, fire, water and earth. And these 5 elements in our body, we come across in 3 type of grouping. These 3 groups are Vata, that is made of ether and air, Pitta, that is made of fire and little bit water, and then we have got Kapha principle, that is made of water and earth. And this should be in balance. And every food, as I told you, whatsoever we consume, that is also made of these 5 elements. So that's why there is an interaction. So there are seasons. So you are doing nothing wrong or good, but it changes. There was summer, now it's winter. So it's winter, then spring. After spring, there is rainy season. So we haven't done anything fault or bad or wrong or good, but there is prominence of Vata, Pitta, Kapha in the atmosphere. And that's also going to have effect on the human body. So by knowing the nature of the food, by knowing the nature of the person, by knowing the nature of the food, what we are going to consume, we can have that interaction under control. So that's the idea, that's the fundament. You see, to understand this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, we have to understand this fundamental system of regulatory control on all forms of life, on all form of cell. May it be on the cellular level or on multicellular level. You see, there are three basic functions of the cell. For example, whatsoever we eat, it has to be ingested. And of course, after ingestion, it has to be excreted. And then third function is storage. So we have to store, that is backup nutrition to ensure you are smooth going. So three basic functions are, so getting in, input, and excrete, output, and storage. These three processes we need. This is some type of regulatory mechanism to keep interconnection and functionality between them. So these three forces, this vata, we can say this is regulatory. Regulation for input and output. Pitta for transformation. From child to adult, adult to young, young to death. This is also transformation. And kapha. Kapha is energy, what we have stored for our structure and making lubrication in our body. So these three processes, that makes a sort of a regulatory mechanism in our body, and that should be in balance. So any imbalance in these three forces will lead to disease, because there is dynamic balance with each other. If vata is going to increase, it will decrease your kapha. If kapha is going to increase, it will decrease your vata, because they are of the opposite characters. So that's why this is a sort of homeostatic balanced situation. And when this vata, pitta, kapha is not in balance, then there is pathology. And this pathology what destruct, will destroy, and will not do good to your system, because that regulatory mechanism is disturbed. And this vata, pitta, kapha actually we get from the very beginning, from the birth. In Prakriti we have got vata, pitta, kapha. But from the very first day, it starts degenerating. So it was giving you life, and it has started again for degeneration from the very first day. So that's why we have to eat, and we start eating. There is breastfeed, and that feed is just to regenerate that degeneration if we are not eating. So food is nourishing this vata, pitta, kapha. So we have to eat. If we won't eat, then there is degeneration of these vata, pitta, kapha forces. So we have to nourish our vata, pitta, kapha to make them in balance. And what you should eat, we should be having knowledge of that this particular food is of vata nature, pitta nature, kapha nature. This has got impact on your doshas. So vata, pitta, kapha, what from the very beginning was giving you life, then it was dhatu. And if we are not feeding it, if we are not nourishing it the right way, then it's going to be dosha. So dhatus, what gives life, and doshas, what takes away your life. So we should not make our dhatus doshas. So that's a message of Tridosha. So these dhatus can become doshas, and these doshas can attack, can spoil other body tissues that are dhatus and manas. And if it attacks our dhatus and mala, because dhatus and malas are here victim. And doshas, they can attack the victim to create a disease. We call that dosha, dushya, samurchana. So that way, doshas, they have attacked our body tissues, they have spoiled our body tissue to create a disease. So that's why we should not let these dhatus convert into doshas. So this is very, very vast chapter, Tridosha. We have to understand Ayurveda well. So this is first introduction to that. Next time I will be coming with other aspect of Tridosha. So thank you very much.